Texans fans,
What?
preseason game 1,
Uh,
Texans versus
uh,
Patriots.
uh, uh.
We're gonna do some
CJ's name, quarterback number 1. I like it.
finally announced.
I like it. Do you suspect he's gonna play a lot tomorrow?
I I would say, man, it's tough. I would love to see first 2 quarters
Mm,
if I can see what he can do out there, especially against first team reps of the other team. I want to see how he handles pressure, how he does everything else. But I think for sure give Davis Mills an option behind him because they still want to have that competitiveness of earning your spot.
I want him to play as much as a majority of his O line plays. Like I want your protection.
Yeah.
So like if I get it if Tunsil don't play a whole lot, but then most of the O line is there. So as long as the majority of the starting O line is there, that's how long I want to see CJ. Like you said, a quarter and a half, maybe
Yeah.
I'd be good with that.
No, yeah, I think perfectly. I mean, he's your future for sure. So you don't want to just throw everything out there. And if you start to see some really good stuff and you want to pull him for just to be safe, I'm like, all right, I'm cool with it. Give me enough to be like, give me a little taste of like an appetizer. That's all I want.
Word. And I feel the complete opposite about Will Anderson. Like you're good. I don't need you. Just go out there, get you some snaps in, and then take a seat.
Yeah, because I don't need you to show the whole playbook while I'm there.
But I feel like Stingley should play quite a bit.
It's weird, yeah, because I think from what Stingley had last season to this season, also missing time, I really do feel that if he played a lot more, because if you can, if he's struggling or whatever against the first, all right, then you better go lock up the second strings, the third string, and
Yeah.
all that. Like, but even if you're doing good, like just prove to me out there uh, that that's who you are as a defender. I mean, I is there anybody that you're looking at? I guess on during the game that I know O line now with Titus Howard out is going to be one that people are going to be watching a
My
bit.
eyes tomorrow will be on the linebacker position
Yeah,
to see who's getting run and who's doing what and who's giving effort and how they're being used and that whole jazz. So I'm watching linebackers, but I also want to see how they're going to use Tank Dell, how they're going to use John Metchie, how they're going to use Devin Singletary. Like even that position, it give you a good idea of the system that we might try to run. So it's more so like how the offense is going to play to me.
yeah. DeMeco said one of the practices, I believe it was one of the secondaries. They took a they got an interception or they batted a ball down and there was like no energy from the team. And he went off on them. He was like, for you not to celebrate one of your players, doing something great, he goes, I'm not, that's uncalled for. He goes, if nobody's going to call it out, I'm going to call it out. And so
I
I'm
like
wondering if we see that during the game, like if they're doing stuff, is that energy going to be brought to the game? Like, because you know how some people look at it as, oh, it's preseason. There's no point to get hyped for that. But if you're trying to build that everyday game culture,
yeah.
I kind of expect to see some of that. Like we already seen the
Well,
jawing, we've seen the
well,
talk.
particularly on defense, like that's kind of like that's what we brought Jimmy Ward here for, right? Like he should be in the one who DeMeco directed that at a little bit.
Yeah,
Unfair as it may be, but still, like you're kind of that's why you're here.
yeah. You're the voice in that, especially in the secondary. Is there anybody that you don't really care if they get playing time?
Yeah, like Brevin Jordan, I don't really care if you get playing time. Like I know he's a fan favorite, but like Roy Lopez, I don't care if you get playing time. Christian Kirksey, like we've seen what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to see what the other guys are doing.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of on those. Those are the 3 names I was actually thinking of because for multiple reasons, but there's a lot of battles that still need to be won, a lot of spots that still need to be taken, and I always feel that preseason is the best time to lock in your 53-man roster. And the beautiful thing is, if people are not playing up to par, well, somebody gets released from
So
another team.
like
You can always,
last year, Damian Pierce pretty much earned his spot in preseason. Like he dominated. He was the story of preseason,
yeah,
all of preseason last year. Like, who do you think's going to be the guy this year for the Texans to be like, all right, we can rely on him a little bit?
I'm gonna go with Michi.
I get that. I don't. It
Mo,
hurts my stomach. I'm about to say it. I think it's Nico Collins, man. I
I
think
couldn't get my guts to say that.
I just have a feeling that he'll catch big balls. Like, that sounded weird, but like he's gonna be better than he has been, and people are gonna notice it.
I mean, all in all, there's in football you always get that elevation of one, elevation of the other. It should work. The same thing they
Yeah,
talk about Chicago. Oh, we got Fields weapons. His wide receivers should do really well because he's there. He should do really well. That's the same thing with Nico Collins. We
yeah,
expected big numbers with Davis Mills, and there was moments, there was flashes of the pan trying to get hot, and it never did. But it's also we know what Davis Mills was. Now if we see CJ doing this and you're still far behind here, I'm gonna be upset. So I mean,
yeah,
from what we've heard of training camp, all eyes and everything point to him having a really good preseason
yeah,
because you've said it in multiple videos that if anybody's going to benefit from being the outside receiver, is going to be him.
yeah. That's why I'm feeling that way.
Yeah.
Like, I only because here's my logic. I don't suspect that they're gonna pull out everything in the playbook.
Yeah.
And I think you'll work more on time and shit and depth shit and all that up the field a little bit more. So I just have a feeling that Nico Collins might look good in the preseason. I'm not saying they have a good season, but I think it's about time for him. Like you said, bro, it's your third year. Do something.
Yeah.
You're kind of the vet in the locker room a little bit.
Yeah, and they had to bring in two vets to kind of be the more veteran voice of the team. So it's a weird thing to be on it. Is there anybody on the O line that you're worried about or seeing? I mean, they did make a signing. It's all depth pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've said it from the beginning. I have no doubt of Kenyon Green's abilities. I have doubt in Kenyon Green's discipline and his drive. Like,
yeah.
if you could show up to play football the way you did at A&M, then I have no problem. But are you going to? Probably not in the beginning of the season. And I'm not really sold on Detmer. So we'll see. But I am a fan. Stupidly a fan of Scruggs. We don't even know what he is yet.
I mean, and you take, of course, everything with a grain of salt that your players are saying because they're gonna hype each other up as much as they can. That's my boy, I got you. But there's certain words and stuff that they say with people, and you're like, all right, that kind of like you could be like, yeah, he's a good guy, he's a swell person. And it's like, oh, that dude probably sucks. But like when there's certain like words and intangibles that they talk about, it's like, okay, this guy may be legit. And it's not just players, coaches, and all that stuff, especially for your head coach to be like, I don't have to talk about this guy, but like randomly I'm talking about him. It's like, all right, I kind of like that. Like,
also, I got my eye on DeMeco a little bit to see how he manages games. It's his first time doing it, so I mean, it's new for him. Not that I don't have faith in him, but it's like, don't make the mistakes like Nathaniel Hackett made in Denver and forget to call timeouts and shit.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like you said with him, it's his whole staff. They're all new except for Frank. I mean, but it's a whole new staff working together, trying to piece together, and it's new guys in new positions. Slovak is in a new position. Everybody's been elevated up. You have more responsibility. There's a lot of eyes on you. I mean, we're gonna see what happens, but I'm excited.
I am too.
Texans.
I'm real excited. I'm so excited to see the defense. You more excited to see Will Anderson or CJ Stroud?
I'm actually more excited to see Will Anderson.
Me too. I don't know. I think I'm more excited to see CJ Stroud only because I feel like we have to rally behind him more because people are taking shots at him. You know what I mean? It's like, hold on, don't think I'm just gonna let y'all say stupid shit about my quarterback, Colin Coward.
Yeah, that idiot right there.
I mean, he had a point, but you don't have to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I don't have nothing to say, and but those are the people that athletes don't like because it's like you can it's one thing to have your opinion, but then when you start to like take jabs at people, you better hope that that athlete doesn't one make you eat your words, and then you're over there trying to interview that guy somewhere down the line, like, hey, bro, I was just kidding. It's like all the people like that criticize anybody that is an athlete, and then they come back and make them eat crow. It's like,
Well, I just feel like it's such a lazy way of thinking. Like you're stating the obvious of what people know already, and all you're doing is like, this is why he has pressure on him, because of these things that you're saying. Like, we know it. Don't throw it in his face. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He don't blast your weaknesses on TV. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But some people, especially in the sports world,
My point is I feel like we're gonna defend CJ no matter what.
and the city does that. I mean, we've seen it with our Astros, we've seen it with our Rockets, and now with the Texans. I mean, people were upset and said that we reached for trading the pick and getting Will right after CJ. The city loved it. The city was like, "You went on."
Yep.
Like that was a move that nobody expected really out of us, and nobody around the league expected. And the fact of the matter is, that's a I'm all in type of shit, and that's what they did. And there
That's
was
all in
people,
with our picks, and I'm
yeah,
cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, why it doesn't matter when you use that pick if you use it on a quality player.
yeah, because there's people that went in the first round that at some point in their career they'll probably never play the NFL in a few years. So it's like if the guy is who you wanted, and like I've always said since draft, DeMeco wanted him, he wanted DeMeco. It just made perfect sense. You got the quarterback, and you said it. CJ felt more like Nick's pick, and then
Yeah.
Will felt like DeMeco's pick. Both sides are happy.
The more and more that came out after all of the draft shit, the way that I feel now is DeMeco and Casario wanted Will Anderson. Cam wanted a quarterback.
Yeah,
McNair wanted a quarterback, so they were kind of tied. So they were like, well, if we're gonna get fired if this shit don't work, then we're gonna go out swinging and use somebody else's picks. But I think they made the right choice in trading for Will Anderson at number 3.
yeah. From what we see now on tape, and what you're seeing legends talking about old players, players on the O line, players on the defense, the way that he is, and he's still just flying under that rookie radar. And he said, he goes, all eyes are on CJ. He goes, I'm just gonna coast until I can't anymore, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm here too, and I like it, like because CJ's up for us. He's just like, yeah, hey, just do what you got to do, and I'll take all of the pressure up on my side. He goes,
But you don't really see CJ say too much. He just goes about his business, and I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, you haven't really heard much after draft, like of him talking. It's been like a very few interviews. I think that's also a benefit of DeMeco, like letting his guys know, because for the longest we didn't hear from him.
Yeah.
DeMeco was like, "Oh, you'll hear from him later. You'll hear from him another day." Like,
I think that's something that DeMeco implemented, like the culture, the
yeah,
discipline, because even DeMeco don't say shit. Just think about it. He was like, we'll have a quarterback in Baltimore week 1. That's kind of like, what happens here stays here. You only need to know what we need to tell you.
it started with draft. Nobody knew what the heck we were doing.
Exactly. And I like it because y'all can't keep making fun of us about what goes on here if y'all don't know what goes on here.
Yep. And
Point
like,
is, so excited, bro.
what do you think? We lose.
I don't really give a shit about the preseason game.
I know you said you wanted us to lose.
I think we'll win the Patriots game because our defense is so good. It's going to be way ahead of whatever their offense can probably produce. But I still take that win with a grain of salt. Like I'm looking for people who go into earn spots. We talk about it all off season. Earn your spot. Earn your fucking spot. Earn your spot. Let's see. Let's look for effort tomorrow.
Yeah, Cashman, I'm rooting for you, bro.
Word. They already have him listed as a starter, I think.
Yeah, no, I just want him to solidify it even more. I've loved what I've heard and seen from him so far in training camp. So it's like, I just want him to go.
They had, I believe, if I'm correct, their depth chart at linebacker was Cashman, Perriman, Christian Harris. Henry To'oTo'o was the backup Mike backer. Christian Kirksey was the backup Sam backer. And I think Garrett Wallow was a middle. I don't remember where Wallow was. But I love it. I can't wait to see the linebackers tomorrow. Let's watch them let's see if they swarm the ball like they say they want to.
I like it. Trying to be pesky Texans. Just go out there, show us what individual players can do. Earn your spot, like Zach said. Texans fans, get hyped. We got football back. Like, subscribe to the network, Bay City Boys. We got you covered on everything Texans, Astros, Rockets related. We'll more than likely be doing some content after the game, talking about who did really good, who did piss poor, and all these other stuff. So, being said, stay hydrated. Houston is hot still. We are out of there.
Peace.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.